Hey everyone, welcome back to Talk Lucy channel, your daily English practice podcast. I'm Lucy.
And I'm Tom. Thanks for being here with us today. If you're new, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our daily episodes.
So, Tom, you look kind of stressed today. What's going on?
Okay, so this morning I had to write a formal email to a new client. It's a big corporate client, so I wanted everything to sound perfect. But I got stuck on one sentence and spent almost 30 minutes trying to write it.
Wait, 30 minutes on just one sentence?
Yes, because I couldn't decide if I should write, who should I send the invoice to, or whom should I send the invoice to? I kept staring at the screen, trying to remember the rule.
Oh no, that sounds frustrating.
And it got even worse. In another sentence, I wrote, the client whose project is due Friday. Then Lily walked by, looked at my screen and said, that's wrong.
Oh, wow.
And at that moment, I just froze. I thought, what do you mean it's wrong? Who? Whom? Whose? Whose? Suddenly, all those words started spinning in my head. My brain went completely blank. It felt like all the grammar rules were fighting each other inside my head.
That sounds like a real grammar headache.
Exactly. It felt like a headache made of grammar. I could almost feel the confusion right between my eyes.
That's a new kind of headache.
Eventually, I got so confused that I just deleted the entire email and started again with something simple. Hi, I hope you're doing well. That felt safe.
You know what, Tom? This is actually one of the most common confusions in English. Even native English speakers mix these words up all the time.
Really? So it's not just me?
Not at all. Many people struggle with who, whom, whose, and whose. They all sound similar, they look similar, and they're easy to confuse. That's why today's episode is all about understanding these words clearly.
All right, thank goodness. Honestly, I've been guessing which one to use for years.
Don't worry, by the end of this episode, everything will make sense. It's actually much simpler than most people think.
All right, I'm ready. Where should we start?
Let's start with the easiest one, who. This is the word that most people already know. Who is a subject pronoun, which means it's the person doing the action in the sentence.
So who is the person performing the action?
Exactly. For example, who called you? Who wants coffee? Who is coming to dinner tonight?
So in all of those sentences, who is the person doing something?
Right. Here's a helpful trick. If the answer to the question could be he, she, or they, then who is the correct word.
Can you show me how that works?
Sure. Who called you? He called me. Who wants coffee? She wants coffee.
Oh, I see. The answer uses he or she, so the question uses who.
Exactly. That's why who is usually easy for people.
Yeah, that part actually makes sense, but the real problem starts with whom.
Yes, that's where many learners get confused.
Honestly, whom feels like my enemy.
Don't worry, Tom. Whom is not your enemy. It's just the object form of who.
What does that mean exactly?
Think of it like this. If who is the person doing the action, then whom is the person receiving the action.
Can you give me an example?
Of course. Whom did you call? The answer would be, I called him.
Oh, so the answer uses him, not he.
Exactly. That's the secret trick.
Let me see if I understand. Who equals he and whom equals him.
Perfect. That's the easiest way to remember it. If the answer could be him, her, or them, you should use whom. If the answer could be he, she, or they, you should use who.
Wait, so that's the entire rule?
Yes, that's basically the whole rule.
That already sounds much simpler than I expected.
Let's try a few examples together. Who or whom did you invite?
The answer would be, I invited him.
Exactly. Since the answer uses him, the correct question is, whom did you invite?
Okay, I think I'm getting it.
Let's try another one. Who or whom is at the door?
The answer would be, he is at the door.
Right.
So the correct question is, who is at the door?
Perfect, you're getting the idea. One more example. Who or whom did you talk to?
The answer is, I talked to her.
Exactly.
So the question should be, whom did you talk to?
Excellent, you've got it. But now there's something important everyone should know.
What's that?
In casual, everyday conversation, most people actually use who for almost everything.
Really?
Yes, for example, people often say, "Who did you call?" instead of "Whom did you call?"
So using who is normal in daily conversation.
Very normal. Nobody at a coffee shop is going to correct you if you say who instead of whom.
That's honestly a big relief.
However, whom is still important in formal writing, like business emails, essays, or official documents.
Ah, so that's why it matters for emails to clients.
Exactly. And there are also some fixed phrases where whom still sounds very natural. Like which ones? The most famous example is "to whom it may concern."
Hey, that's exactly what I wrote at the top of my email this morning.
Then that part was absolutely correct.
Good, at least I got something right.
Another place where whom often appears is after prepositions like to, for, with, from, and about.
Can you give some examples?
Sure. With whom did you speak? For whom is this gift?
Although in normal conversation, people would probably say, "Who did you speak with?" Right?
Exactly. People often move the preposition to the end and use who.
So, "who did you go with" sounds natural in spoken English.
Yes, meanwhile, with whom did you go sounds more formal.
So both are correct, but they fit different situations.
Exactly. Think of whom like a pair of dress shoes.
Dress shoes?
Yes, you don't wear them every day, but you use them for special occasions.
Like client emails or job interviews.
Exactly. Now let's move to the pair that causes the most confusion for learners. Whose and whose.
Ah, yes. This is exactly where Lily caught my mistake this morning.
Okay, let's slow down and figure out what happened. First, let's talk about whose without an apostrophe. Whose is a possessive word, which means it shows ownership or belonging.
Ownership? Like when something belongs to someone?
Exactly. For example, whose bag is this? That question means, who does this bag belong to?
Oh, I see.
Here are some more examples. Whose turn is it? Whose idea was that?
So every time we use whose, we are talking about something that belongs to someone.
Perfect. That's exactly right. Whose always asks about ownership or belonging.
Okay, that part makes sense, but what about whose with the apostrophe?
Good question. Whose with the apostrophe is completely different. It's actually a contraction.
A contraction.
Yes, a contraction is a short form of two words. In this case, whose is short for who is or who has.
Wait, that's it?
That's it. Nothing more complicated than that.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. Who's coming to the party? This means who is coming to the party.
Okay, that's clear.
Another example. Who's been to Japan before?
That means who has been to Japan before.
Exactly.
All right, I think I see where my mistake happened this morning.
Tell me what you wrote.
In my email, I wrote, "the client whose project is due Friday."
Ah, now I understand the problem.
Let me guess, I accidentally used who is instead of showing ownership.
Exactly. If we expand your sentence, it becomes, the client who is project is due Friday.
Wow, that really makes no sense.
Right. In that sentence, the project belongs to the client, so you need the possessive form.
So the correct sentence should be, "the client whose project is due Friday."
Exactly, because the project belongs to the client.
Wow, now it seems so obvious.
Don't feel bad. This is actually one of the most common spelling mistakes in English. Even professional writers sometimes mix these two up.
That actually makes me feel a little better.
Let me give you a very simple test that always works.
I love tests that make grammar easier.
Here's the rule. If you can replace the word with who is or who has, and the sentence still makes sense, then you should use whose with the apostrophe.
Okay.
If the sentence doesn't make sense when you replace it with who is or who has, then you should use whose without the apostrophe.
All right, let me try one. Sentence, I have a neighbor whose dog barks all night.
Good example. Now replace whose with who is.
Let's see. I have a neighbor whose dog barks all night. Nope, that sounds completely wrong.
Exactly. Since the replacement doesn't work, the correct word is whose, the possessive form.
So the correct sentence is, I have a neighbor whose dog barks all night.
Perfect example.
That reminds me of your dog, Biscuit.
Hey, Biscuit doesn't bark all night.
Usually.
All right, let's try another one. Sentence, I don't know who's responsible for this.
Okay, let me test it. Replace with who is. I don't know who is responsible for this. That works perfectly.
Exactly. That means whose with the apostrophe is correct.
This test is actually really helpful.
Yes, the replacement test almost never fails.
Honestly, it feels like I just discovered a secret grammar tool.
A secret tool?
Yes, like a secret decoder ring for English grammar. I can almost feel my brain leveling up. It's like there's a little progress bar filling up behind my eyes.
A grammar progress bar. I love that idea. Let's practice a few more sentences.
All right, I'm ready.
First sentence, blank jacket is on the chair.
That's about ownership. The jacket belongs to someone. So the correct sentence is, whose jacket is on the chair?
Perfect. Next sentence, blank going to tell him the news.
Let me test it. Replace with who is. Who is going to tell him the news? That works perfectly.
Exactly. That means whose with the apostrophe is correct.
Next sentence, the woman blank car broke down is waiting outside.
That's ownership again.
The car belongs to the woman. So the correct sentence is, the woman whose car broke down is waiting outside.
Perfect. One more. Blank been eating my leftovers.
That sounds like someone is in trouble.
Maybe Jake again.
Let me test it. Replace with who has. Who has been eating my leftovers? That works. So the correct answer is whose.
Excellent. You got everyone correct.
I'm actually feeling proud right now.
Good. Now let's look at how all 4 words can appear in a normal, everyday situation.
Okay, I'm ready.
Imagine you're at a party.
All right, I'm at a party.
Someone walks into the room and you don't recognize them. You ask your friend, who is that?
Right, because who is the subject.
Exactly. So you say, who is that? I don't recognize them.
Then your friend replies, that's the person, blank, I met last week. Let me think. I met him. That means the correct word is whom, so the sentence becomes, that's the person whom I met last week.
Perfect. Now you notice that person left a jacket on the couch. You ask, blank jacket is this?
That's ownership again. So I say, whose jacket is this?
Exactly. Then someone asks another question. Blank invited them.
That's about the subject, so the correct question is, who invited them?
Perfect. And finally, someone says, is that the guy blank always late?
Let me test it. Replace with who is. Is that the guy who is always late? So the correct answer is whose.
Exactly. 5 sentences, and you used all 4 words correctly.
Honestly, that feels amazing. It's like everything just clicked in my brain. Now I can see it clearly. Who does the action? Whom receives the action? Whose shows ownership? Whose means who is or who has.
That is the perfect summary. And here's a helpful tip for real life.
I'm listening.
In casual everyday English, you only need to focus on two main things.
Which two?
First, whose versus whose in writing. People notice that mistake quickly.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way this morning.
And second, using whom after prepositions in formal writing, like to whom, for whom, with whom.
But in everyday conversation, people mostly just use who.
Exactly. People say things like, who did you call? Who are you talking to? Who should I ask? Even though some of those could use whom. Right, but who sounds natural in daily conversation.
That makes English grammar feel much less scary. Actually, I want to try something.
Go ahead.
I want to describe my morning using all 4 words.
I love that idea. Go for it.
This morning, I woke up wondering who left the kitchen light on. Lily, whose alarm goes off at 6 every morning, was already awake. I asked her, "Who's making coffee?" She looked at me and said, "The person whom you should be thanking." Then I looked at the cat, whose name I still can't remember because it actually belongs to Lily's friend and we're just watching it for the weekend. I pointed at the cat and asked, "Who's been knocking things off the kitchen counter?" The cat just stared at me with those big, innocent eyes like it had absolutely no idea what I was talking about.
That story was brilliant. You used who, whose, and whom perfectly.
And the cat is still causing chaos.
Cats usually do.
Pure chaos. But at least my grammar's improving.
And that's the best part. You didn't stop and think about the rules. You just used the words naturally.
That's true. Before this conversation, I would have frozen on every sentence. But now, the him test and the replacement test are running quietly in my brain like background software.
And here's one more situation that happens very often at work. This is when you are introducing people or talking about your colleagues. For example, imagine you are introducing someone in your office. You might say, "This is Sarah, who manages the design team."
So we use who here because Sarah's the subject. She's the one doing the action. She manages the team.
Exactly. Sarah is the person doing the action, so we use who. Now imagine another example. You might say, "This is the client whom we've been working with."
Oh, I see. In that sentence, we worked with him, so he's the object of the action.
Right. Since the sentence could be, "We have been working with him," the correct word is whom. Let's try another sentence. The manager whose approval we need is on vacation.
In this sentence, the approval belongs to the manager. So we use whose because it shows ownership.
Exactly. Now imagine someone asks another question at the office. Does anyone know who's handling the project while she's away?
In this sentence, whose means who is. So the full sentence would be, does anyone know who is handling the project?
Perfect.
You know what? These are exactly the kinds of sentences I write every week in my emails.
That's why this lesson is so important. This isn't just abstract grammar from a textbook. These are real words you use every day in emails, conversations, meetings, and messages.
Well, after this conversation, my emails are definitely going to be much better. Lily is going to be very impressed.
I'm sure she will. Now, let me show you a few extra patterns that are also very useful.
All right, I'm ready.
One very common word is whoever.
What does whoever mean?
Whoever means any person who. It's used when you don't know exactly which person you're talking about. For example, whoever finds my keys gets a free coffee.
So it means any person who finds the keys will get coffee.
Exactly. Another example, tell whoever is in charge.
So it means tell any person who is responsible.
Right. You don't know the specific person, so you use whoever.
That makes sense. It's like an open-ended who.
Exactly.
Is there also a word called whomever?
Yes, whomever exists too. But honestly, almost nobody uses it in everyday conversation.
That's good news. One less thing to worry about.
Exactly.
Even in formal writing, most people simply use whoever. Now, let's look at a very common expression. Whose fault is it?
Oh, yes, people say that all the time.
It's especially common when something goes wrong.
Like when Jake is involved.
Exactly.
For example, whose fault is it that we're late?
And the answer is probably Jake's fault.
Obviously.
Now, here's another interesting expression. Who's who?
Oh, yes, I've heard that before. It means figuring out which person is which, right?
Exactly. For example, I couldn't tell who's who at the costume party.
Because everyone looked different with costumes.
Right. Another example, she knows who's who in the company.
That means she knows all the important people.
Exactly.
And here, whose means who is.
Yes, the phrase really means who is who. Now, here's another useful expression, no matter who.
What does that mean?
It means it doesn't matter which person. For example, no matter who calls, tell them I'm busy.
So it means any person who calls.
Exactly.
You know what this feels like?
What?
It feels like my brain just got a software update.
A software update?
Yes, all the grammar rules that were scattered around my brain are now organized into nice, neat folders.
I love that image.
Each word has its own folder with a clear label: who, whom, whose, and whose.
That's the best feeling when learning grammar. But remember, you don't need to be perfect.
That's good to hear.
Even native English speakers make mistakes with these words. The important thing is understanding the difference so you can use the correct one when it really matters, like in a client email.
Speaking of that, I should probably go back and fix that email now.
Yes, you probably should. Before we finish, we have a quick question for everyone listening. Think about the last email you wrote. Did you use who, whom, whose, or whose?
Try the tests we learned today. Use the him test for whom.
And use the who is replacement test for whose.
Even if nobody is around, try saying one sentence out loud using one of these words.
Your brain learns better when it hears your own voice practicing. Vocabulary review. All right, let's do a quick vocabulary review. We covered a lot today.
Yes, let's go through everything step by step.
First word, who. Who is the subject of a sentence. It is the person doing the action. Example, who called?
The answer could be he called. If the answer is he, she, or they, then the correct word is who.
Exactly. Who is the doer? Second word, whom. Whom is the object. It is the person receiving the action. Example, whom did you call?
The answer would be I called him. If the answer is him, her, or them, then we use whom.
Here's a helpful trick. Him ends with the letter M.
And whom also ends with M.
That's an easy memory trick. Third word, whose. Whose shows possession or ownership. Example, whose bag is this?
That means the bag belongs to someone.
And remember, whose has no apostrophe. Fourth word, whose. Whose is a contraction. It means who is or who has. Example, who's coming?
That means who is coming.
Always try the replacement test. Fifth tip, the him test. This helps you choose between who and whom. Example, whom did you meet?
The answer is I met him. So the correct word is whom.
Sixth, whom after prepositions. In formal writing, whom often comes after words like to, for, with, from, about. Example, to whom it may concern. But in everyday speech, people often say, who did you talk to? Both are correct. Seventh, whose in relative clauses. Example, the student whose essay won first prize.
Or the neighbor whose dog barks all night.
It connects a person with something that belongs to them. Eighth, whoever. Whoever means any person who. It's used when you don't know exactly which person you're talking about. Example,
whoever finds my keys gets a free coffee. So it means any person who finds the keys will get coffee. Exactly. Ninth, who's who. This expression means knowing which person is which. Example, she knows who's who in the company. That means she knows all the important people. Exactly. And here, whose means who is. Yes, the phrase really means who is who. 10th, who versus whom in casual English. In everyday conversation, most people simply use who. Example, who did you talk to? In formal writing, you can use whom. All right, that was a great conversation about who, whom, whose, and whose. Now we have a question for you. Tell us in the comments, which grammar trick helped you the most today? Was it the him test? Or the replacement test? Try to use at least one of today's words in your comment.
We love reading your answers.
If you enjoyed this lesson, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who is learning English.
And we'll see you tomorrow with another easy English conversation.
Bye, everyone!
Bye.